It was the summer of 2015 when a group of experienced spelunkers decided to venture into the remote caves of Afghanistan. Located deep in the mountains, these caves had been shrouded in mystery for centuries, with locals warning that no one who entered them ever returned the same. But of course, the team didn't believe in ghost stories or superstitions. They were professionals after all. The team of 6 set off with their gear, deep into the Afghan wilderness. The higher they climbed, the colder it became, and the air grew dense with a sense of foreboding. As they descended into the cave system, a strange chill seemed to settle around them, but they brushed it off as the natural environment, cold, damp, and dark. Their first few hours inside were uneventful. The only sounds were the echo of their footsteps and the occasional clink of equipment. But as night fell, the air grew heavier, and the tunnels seemed to twist in ways they hadn't noticed before. It was almost as though the cave was alive, shifting, changing its layout as they moved through it. They set up camp in a large chamber, and that's when things started to go wrong. One of the team members, a young man named Ahmed, began to hear whispers. At first he thought it was just the wind or his imagination, but the whispers grew louder and clearer. They were calling his name. Ahmed. He tried to ignore it, but the whispers didn't stop. They only intensified. His fellow explorers dismissed it as paranoia, but Ahmed's anxiety grew. He felt a cold hand brush his shoulder in the dead of night. Panicked, he bolted upright, but no one was there. The next day Ahmed disappeared. The others searched every inch of the cave, but there was no sign of him. No trail, no trace. As they retraced their steps, they found something chilling, a set of footprints leading deeper into the dark. The prints seemed to fade, as though someone had stepped out of reality itself. The team was forced to leave the cave, but they couldn't shake the feeling that something was following them. To this day, no one knows what happened to Ahmed. Some say he was taken by the spirits of the cave, while others believe he was lost in the shifting tunnels. But one thing is certain, the caves are not just haunted by the dead, they are alive with something far worse. In 2001, during the height of the war in Afghanistan, a platoon of soldiers was sent on a mission to investigate reports of strange activity coming from a cave system near the border. The locals had been hearing voices and seeing shadows moving in the night, things that couldn't be explained. Naturally, the soldiers were skeptical, chalking it up to the stress of war and the isolation of the region. But when they reached the caves, their skepticism quickly turned to fear. As they entered the dark, narrow passageways, the air was thick with an oppressive silence. Their flashlights flickered against the jagged walls, casting long, twisted shadows. The deeper they went, the more unsettling the atmosphere became. The air felt wrong, as if something was watching them. Then they found it. In a hidden chamber, there were remnants of something ancient. Carvings on the walls, symbols they couldn't recognize, and a strange, decayed altar in the center. The moment they entered the room, one of the soldiers, a man named Sergeant Ali, collapsed. His eyes rolled back, and he began to scream, thrashing on the ground as though something invisible was attacking him. The soldiers rushed to help him, but it was too late. Ali's body went limp, and his last words were barely audible. The spirits. They want us. They're awake. Terrified, the soldiers attempted to leave, but the path had changed. The narrow corridors seemed to stretch, and the way out became increasingly harder to find. What had been an easy walk-in had now turned into a labyrinth of fear. By the time they stumbled out of the caves, 2 soldiers were missing, their cries echoing in the distance as they vanished into the dark. To this day, no one knows what happened to them. The only thing left behind was a faint, eerie whisper in the wind. The spirits are still here. In 2003, a team of archaeologists was given permission to explore an ancient burial site in Afghanistan, hidden deep within the mountains. The site was known to house relics from an ancient civilization, long lost to history. But there were rumors among the locals that the tomb was cursed, that anyone who disturbed the resting place of the dead would pay the price. The team, eager to uncover history, ignored the warnings. As they uncovered the entrance to the tomb, they noticed strange symbols etched into the stone. The air was thick with the smell of decay, and an unexplainable coldness filled the chamber. The deeper they dug, the more unsettling the feeling became. Inside the tomb, they found a sarcophagus unlike any they had ever seen. The carvings on its surface were intricate, depicting scenes of death and darkness. It seemed almost alive, as if it was watching them. But the most disturbing thing was the inscription above it. Those who awaken the spirits will never leave. Despite the warning, the lead archaeologist, Dr. Farid, decided to open the sarcophagus. As soon as the lid was removed, a foul, rancid odor filled the air. The archaeologist stepped back, horrified. Inside the sarcophagus lay a mummified corpse, but it was different. Its eyes were wide open, staring directly at them. Farid, unable to resist, reached out to touch the corpse. The moment his fingers made contact, a deafening scream echoed through the chamber, causing the walls to shake. The ground beneath them trembled as though the entire tomb was alive. And then, one by one, the archaeologists began to vanish. Some were pulled into the darkness, their screams fading into nothingness. Others simply disappeared without a trace. When rescuers arrived days later, they found the tomb empty, but the symbols on the walls had changed. The words now read, "You have awakened them." 3 chilling stories from the haunted caves of Afghanistan. Which one scared you the most? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more true horror stories from the darkest corners of the world.